I don't think anybody would have thought that when I was a little boy running around, oh, he could be a lawyer one day.
But that little boy overcame his poor upbringing in a racially segregated Delaware, going on to receive a law degree from Harvard University.
And when I came out of law school in the 1980s, it was clear to me that this growing population of people being sent to jails and prisons was becoming a priority. I knew too many people who had been wrongly convicted, unfairly accused, unfairly sentenced.
4 years after graduating from Harvard Law School, Bryan Stevenson started the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery as a young attorney. According to the organization, it's helped more than 130 death row inmates win relief, reversals, or releases from prison. Why was it important for you to start EJI in Montgomery? You're not originally from Montgomery, so why here?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this is a city with a really rich history. Montgomery was one of the most active slave trading spaces in America from 1848 until 1865. Thousands of enslaved people were brought here by rail, by boat. The street where this office was one of the main portals for trafficking people. This office is on the site of a former warehouse where enslaved people were held. And if we're going to advocate for just and fair treatment of people who have been prosecuted, then there's no better place in the world to situate that advocacy than Montgomery, Alabama.
More than a century after slavery ended, we see a different form of injustice. According to the National Registry for Exonerations, more than 2,500 people were exonerated since 1989. Stevenson says for every 9 people executed, 1 person is proven innocent and released.
If someone said, 1 out of 9 flights that takes off is going to crash and everybody's going to die, we wouldn't fly. But we are tolerating this high error rate in the administration of the death penalty. When you're making the kind of mistakes that we see being made year after year across this country, it becomes unacceptable to continue executing people.
At the Equal Justice Initiative, staff receive hundreds of letters a month, primarily from poor people claiming they've been wrongfully convicted. Cases involving the death penalty in Alabama and children facing life sentences get top priority.
When we get these calls and letters, it's very, very difficult to make decisions because we can't represent everybody. We wish we could.
Stevenson won a case representing a 13-year-old sentenced to life in prison without parole in Florida.
The very definition of childhood is that you change. You change physically, you change psychologically, you change emotionally. So to impose a sentence that doesn't even imagine change is cruel.
Stevenson believes in protecting children and protecting the right to vote. As Congress currently debates passing voting rights laws, he says it's a crucial step in improving our justice system.
Prosecutors are elected, judges are elected. Most people don't know the name of the district attorney in their community. And when you don't know the name of someone, you're not going to be evaluating what they do and holding them accountable if they do things that they shouldn't be doing. There is a real urgency about eliminating any of the barriers that currently exist around voting. And I just think in our state, with our long history of denying people the kind of access that they deserve, we should be doing everything we can to make it as easy as possible for every person in this state to vote.
When people reflect on your life, what do you want them to remember you for?
I just want to make a difference for those who are vulnerable, to those who are disfavored. I believe really strongly in compassion, in kindness, and justice. And I just think if you get close to the poor, to the excluded, to those who suffer, and you multiply that proximity with hope, you can achieve things that can make a difference in the lives of people. And if I contribute to basic human rights in some small way, I'll be really honored by that legacy.